light blue that I used for my vase. Okay. And I will perhaps want to use yellow for my background, so I'm going to color that in. You can choose any yellow that you have. And I'm keeping my strokes very uniform and cohesive. Right? And I'm holding my pencil at the back. So it gives a lot of paint. It's very, I'm massing the color. So a lot of I'm able to color very quickly. Then I continue to do that with the rest of the wall like that. And I will now do the lemons in a lemon yellow color, like a light yellow color. So just quickly put some colors into this area. I will color the apple, very light shade of red. And I want to look for a purple and color the vase. And I take some pink again and color the tablecloth. So this is all blocked in mostly. With some form of color. And because this is a glass vase, you're gonna be able to see some of the pink from here. So I'm gonna color over the vase a little bit. I'll take some kind of brown and color the window panes here. Okay. So mostly it's all complete in terms of some kind of color has gone in, right? So with that, take a few minutes and put that in. So this is how it looks from close up. I'm showing a lot of my background white color, right? And I can come in with my green pencil and make it a little bit better, the leaves. Still working with a light green. I haven't moved to dark colors yet. Just putting in some of the basic colors. Just light green for the leaves. Covering the white of the paper, most cases. So I have switched my camera and you can see close up, right?
Pamela, I have a question.
Sure.
For pen and pencil drawing, is it up to this point and then starting next week till the end will be watercolor?
Next week it will be watercolor, yes.
Okay.
And maybe a few watercolors after that, but we may come back to pencil again.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now I will go into darker green and I'll start layering that in. So if you are using watercolor or acrylic at home, you'd do the same thing. You'd put in the darker colors now and kind of create the additional layers, right? I'm just coloring some parts of the leaf, not everything. Okay, so layer in the colors. And at this point, if you are using watercolor or acrylic at home, you can you'd still be using a medium brush or a small brush, right? We have moved away from using the biggest brush because we have covered everything and now we are going into a little bit more detail. So I'm layering in the dark colors, right? Maybe figure out some of the shapes that could be made better. And then these are the stems that are coming into the water. There could be some leaves in the water. There could be some dark green in the water. So I'm just putting in a very loose way, some green stems and leaves in the water, okay? You do the same at your end. Next, I'm gonna move into the flowers. I'm still working on my leaves. Next, I'm coming in with a deeper pink color. If you don't have a deeper pink color, use a little bit of purple on top of the pink that we did, okay? So I'm layering the deeper pink color gently on top. I'm still not going in 100%. And if you're using oil and acrylic or watercolor, you also should not cover everything. Just leave room open for next layers to come in. Even though I'm using pencil, I am trying to give you enough tips if you want to do it in any other medium. And it doesn't matter what medium you use. You can use any medium, but I happen to be using pencil today. Okay, so I'm just filling this up, making it a nice, beautiful shape, and layering the color such that it looks very three-dimensional. Very gently, I'm just coloring this in. So I did that flower, and then I'm gonna go into the other flowers also, and you do the same at your end. Next class, I will be using watercolor, but you can use whatever you want at your end. You can use pencil, you can use acrylic, you can use oil. It doesn't matter. But I'll be using watercolor. And if you have watercolor, you're welcome to use it. So here, if you're using a brush, in this case today, just notice how I am making light and dark next to each other with my pencil. And it looks so spectacular. And then in the center, I'm leaving it lighter. In the ends, I'm going darker. So it gives it a very three-dimensional look. And if I change my camera and go closer to it, you'll see the details of how it's looking close up, right? So I'm going around outside first, and then coming in very lightly and making this look three-dimensional. Okay. Same thing here. This is the faraway side and darker side. I'm going to put that in, and then I would come and color around the outside and make it look very three-dimensional. Same thing here. This is the darker area. So in case I get disconnected from Zoom, like it happened a few minutes before, just be patient. I will come back in. Just hang tight and be assured that I will log back in. Okay. It sometimes happens that the system kicked me out and I wasn't able to use it. Okay, so that's that. And then I will continue that and you do the same at your end. So. If you learn how to use the pencil, you'll also learn how to use the brush. It's really the same thing. It's about controlling your colors, your motion, your brushwork, your pencil work. The knowledge is transferable from one medium to another. Okay, so I'm just getting that in. Starting on this one, it's darker at the back, and I'll start to put in the petals now. Okay. Then I'll come back and do some of this green. I'm going a bit heavier on my pencils at this point. I am going a little bit deeper into my paper because I am almost done layering the colors for the leaves. This is the third time I'm going in, and at this point I can go in deeper. Okay. With the flowers, I'm gonna take a little bit of purple now, or blue, and create a little bit darker areas in some parts. You do the same with acrylic or watercolor. Just put in some darker areas around so that it creates that color variation, and the light also looks bit more, more interesting. Very sparingly, I'm putting in some darker shadows in the flowers. If you have a purple, you can also use that. Okay, I'll let you be for a few minutes to catch up. So I'll work on the apple a little bit. Just go around it and create the darker areas. Maybe bring in some green into the apple. So if you're using a brush, move your brush in the direction of the form. So the apple is a round object, so I'm going around the apple and then coming up as if, so you'll follow how this landscape travels, like very gently put in the color and move your brush or pencil in the direction of the form, right? Then I'll bring in a little bit more green. Again, just moving it in a same cohesive way. When you go use the brush, I'll expect you to know that when you're using the brush from next time. It's very important that we do that and we do proper brush work when we do painting with watercolor or acrylic, right? And that's the reason I wanted to use pencil first so that you kind of get a hang of it, you know? All right, so I did that. And then I will bring in a little bit darker red color. Maybe I'll use this one, this red color. This is a bit darker, so I'll just put in very dark color. And this time I'm going in a bit deeper into the paper, you know? There may be some areas which are darker than others, so I'm covering that. Okay, so that's my apple. And then for the lemons, I'm gonna come in and start putting the second layer. And I'll put a darker yellow around the area, around the side. And make a round shape out of it, right? And I'm able to see some of the yellow from behind the vase because the vase is made of glass. And then I will come in and make some areas of the wall darker, like under the window, there is less light. So I'm gonna just move like a hatch mark, you know, how I explained so two different direction of the brush mark, okay? So I'm just making that dark, right? And then I'll do the same on this side. Okay, and then I will come in and put in darker blue on some sides of the vase so that I can address some of the shadow areas. So there, I'm doing that. So I am not covering it with a solid color. I am letting some of the background be seen, okay? So you'd bring in the same colors if you're using acrylic, watercolor, oil. So you'll bring in the blue with a medium brush to do this. I'm filling up this whole entire area with a dark blue. And yet I'm not covering everything I had in the background. Do some stems, a little bit, things floating around in the water. And then I'll do a little impression of water over here, like this, like an oval shape, you know. And then I'll bring in the pink, dark pink color that I used on the flowers, and I'll put some dark pink over here to address the shadow of the vase on the table. And I'll do the same with this bowl also. This will cast a shadow as well. I'll do that. Bring in a darker purple color and I'll work on this vase. Make it look three-dimensional by going cross-hatching. And doing a little bit darker purple at the bottom. You can also use purple to do the shadow side of the lemons, to go over the yellow very lightly with the purple. This is use of complementary color. Yellow and purple are complementary to each other. So you're using a complementary color to cast the shadow, to define the shadow side of these lemons. Just layering a little bit of purple on the yellow. So this is how it looks close up. And I can use a little bit darker shade of the red. Mm. Yeah, why don't you catch up in the meantime? So you can also use blue around the painting to do some dark areas of the leaves. Blue and green are cool colors, and they work very well to create variation of color. They give a very cohesive look when used together. They are analogous colors, and you can use the blue to darken some areas of the green in a very cohesive way. So I'm using the blue on top of the green to darken some of my areas of the leaves to define them. At this point, my painting is done. If you have any question, you can ask. We have a few minutes left.
Pamela,
Yes?
I have a question.
Sure.
What is the difference between color water and acrylic?
Both of them are water-based medium. Watercolor is easier to work with, and it does not create a stain. So if you spill it a little bit, you can easily clean it up. Whereas acrylic, it's a plastic-based medium. Once it gets on your clothes or somewhere, it's a little bit harder to take it off, and also you have to clean your brushes and everything. And with watercolor, if I have a watercolor painting, I can come back the next day and I can use water to move the color, to activate it again and to paint, to make a change. With acrylic, once it dries, you cannot go back and remove that color. You have to paint over it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. But acrylic is easier in terms of, because it dries also very fast, and you can layer it so that you can paint on top of it. Whereas watercolor, you have to plan a little bit more. Watercolor is said to be a more difficult medium to work with.
So with watercolor painting and acrylic painting, do we need special paper?
With watercolor and acrylic, both of this can be done on watercolor paper. Acrylic can be done on canvas also, but it can also be done on watercolor paper.
Okay.
With watercolor, you need watercolor paper.
Thank you.
No problem. So like I said, I'm going to be painting in watercolor, but you can use any medium. You can even use a pencil, and that's okay. just join the class so that you draw and paint a little bit. That's all.
Thank you.
And even color pencil is a very beautiful medium to use. So I'll highly encourage you to join the class and do whatever you can with whatever you have. So we will do a few watercolor classes and then maybe we'll switch back to pencil or pen again for a 1 or 2 classes. Then again, maybe we can get back to acrylic. Okay, so we will circulate around using different mediums.
How many classes do we have for the drawing class? Is it 10 classes altogether?
I am not sure how to answer that.
When will it end? Somewhere in April, May?
I am also not sure if I know the answer to that. That is something you need to probably ask Nancy later on.
Thank you.
So we are very close to finishing up the class, and I will I'm done painting the flowers. I really don't have anything more today. But if anybody wants to take a screenshot, this is a good time.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it.
I really do. Thank you.
That's